Red Hook beer was born out of the energy and spirit of the early 80s, in the heart of the great Northwest in Seattle, Washington. While the term craft beer didn't exist at the time, Red Hook became one of America's first craft breweries. From a modest start in a former transmission shop to current breweries in Woodinville, Washington, and here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Red Hook has become America's most recognized craft beer. Tonight, Dirty Water TV takes you inside the Red Hook Brewery in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. See why Red Hook is the crushable craft.
Dirty Water TV, all over Boston you'll see. Dirty Water TV, wherever you want to be. Dirty Water, Boston, you're my sea.
It's going worldwide. Dirty Water.
I love that Dirty Water TV.
Love that Dirty Water TV.
The stars get the scene in the bars, cheer the teams. Our passions are met, Boston's pure energy. Dirty Water TV, all over Boston you'll see. Dirty Water TV, wherever you want to be. Dirty Water, Boston, you're my sea. Dirty Water. Dirty Water. Dirty Water.
I love that Dirty Water.
Dirty Water. Dirty Water. Boston, you're my sea.
I love that Dirty Water TV. I really do.
The best.
Hi, everybody. I'm Butch Stearns.
And I'm Dave Russo.
And welcome to Dirty Water TV in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, of all places.
Yes, we're at the Red Hook Brewery, an hour north of Boston, right here in Portsmouth.
And the other reason we're here is Dan Patrick is here. Everybody's favorite national sports figure is here with us for a great event today.
I like your shot.
But this place is really cool, Red Hook Brewery. They're one of the oldest craft beers, started in the Pacific Northwest, but they've been here in Portsmouth since 1996, Dave.
Well, the brewery here does a lot more than just brew beer. You have a pub here. They do special events like today. They have concerts, tours, and we have a lot of that going on today.
Yeah, and we're here in the Red Hook Pub. And speaking of today's event, it's called Hook Madness. They got a ton of stuff going on here today.
Well, I know we have Lucky the Leprechaun from the Celtics doing some jamming down.
And all the proceeds from Hook Madness today are going to benefit the Rock On Foundation, which is put together by New Hampshire natives and basketball stars Luke and Matt Bonner. And all that money goes to promote and give opportunities for athletic and artistic things in the New Hampshire community.
And don't forget, there's going to be a lot of beer drinking here at the Red Hook Brewery.
Speaking of beer drinking, we're here today specifically to promote Audible Ale. You got your Audible Ale?
Oh, let me pull an Audible
I
right
noticed
now.
yours is not full, however mine is, so you've been partaking. Actually, I have too, but I filled mine again. Audible Ale is a really cool story. This is a beer that Dan Patrick and Red Hook have partnered up on.
Well, the thing I like about this type of craft brew, as they would say, is that you can have like 3 or 4 at a sitting when you're watching the game. It's not too heavy, and I've enjoyed the taste so far, so I'm digging it.
Well, all the craft beers at Red Hook, and especially Audible Ale, they call it crushability. And they're the crushable craft since 1981. And what that means to you, as Dave said, is that when a game starts, reach for a Red Hook. You can have more than one. You can have a couple. It's not going to weigh you down. It's got a great, bold flavor. Look at the color of it. It's awesome. Right here at the Red Hook Brewery.
And the best thing about I feel about the Red Hook right now is that they're giving them to us for free. And they're really good when they're free.
I'm not above that either. Audible Ale from the Red Hook Brewery in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Look at that. That is Audible Ale right there. TV beer, TV beer. Look at that.
Dude.
I have made it.
Yeah.
Marconi Award, so what?
Whoa.
Sports Emmy, so what?
Yeah.
Sportscaster of the Year, so what? I got my own frickin' beer and a tap that's a microphone.
Yeah.
Ball game.
Ball game.
Ball game.
And speaking of Audible Ale, the man behind Audible Ale, the legend, Mr. Dan Patrick, joins us. How are you, Mr. Patrick?
Dave, good. No complaints.
No complaints.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here, with you, obviously. My question, they want to talk sports. I want to ask you, my question that I want to ask you is that you've interviewed all of the Sports Illustrated women. Which one, by far, do you think is the hottest?
I don't want to be the creepy old man.
Okay.
I view them all like they're my daughters. How's that?
Okay.
Audible Ale, how did this come about? How did you get involved with Red Hook?
It happened so quickly. I was at a lunch. Somebody said, hey, you heard of Red Hook? I said, yes. you interested in them sponsoring your show? Yeah. Then all of a sudden met with the Red Hook folks, and they said, on a whim, I go, can I brew my own beer? Can I have my own beer? And they said, yeah. So we came up to Portsmouth, and then we sat down for probably 3 hours, beer and wings, testing the beer, and they kept coming back to us, say, try this, try this, try this, and then we eventually settled on Audible. I said, I want a beer that you can have with wings, and you can drink it all day or during a game, and I just love the spirit of Red Hook, the people that were involved in it, and came back, and all of a sudden, they ended up winning a gold medal for Audible Ale, which was pretty cool.
And that's going to be in places. Like you can go to
That'll be in bars where you, look at that. And they'll go, take it out. Holy smokes.
That's the dream.
How did we pull this off?
Let's talk about Hook Madness and this event up here. You judged a dunk contest that turned into a three-point contest that turned into a dunk contest that turned into a fashion show. I understand about skinny jeans.
I need to start drinking here.
Pressure on Luke here. He's got to go between the legs or he's out.
Dan, you want to got to adjust his pants. What? Oh, you got skinny jeans. Nice.
Must have been a good deal at Express for the tall guys.
You never know who's going to show up with something like this and the talent level, but it was good. There was some talent out there somewhere.
Dan, when you do an event like this, I mean, I think we all know this. People get to know you, and they come see you. But you've always been good at that. You always like that, meeting people, don't you?
Well, I grew up in a family of 6, so I'm just used to it. The toughest people, my toughest critics are my family. So I just look at these people. If they take time out to listen to the show, if I'm part of their life, how can I not say thank you? It's the ultimate compliment you can ever receive is somebody says, you're part of my day. To allow that, to let me be a part of that, I never take it for granted.
But let me ask you this now. What is your fondest sports memory out of all the sports you covered? What is your fondest sports memory?
That's a good one.
You know, I was there for all of Michael Jordan's runs, the Celtics championships. I was there 2004 when the Sox won. I was there in 86 when they lost to the Mets. And it may sound strange, one of the greatest moments I ever covered was when Bill Buckner had the error in Game 6. And the reason why I say that is I've never met a more stand-up guy after the most emotional loss that anybody could ever have. Buckner sat there and answered every question. And to this day, it's rare when you see that. Most of the athletes will hide. They don't want to say anything. Buckner sat there and answered every question that night. He just had the most embarrassing moment in baseball history. So that, you know, it's weird how I look for stories. I don't root for anybody. I want a story. What can I do with that story? And that was a story that, you know, you're able to tell. Eckersley gave up the home run to Kirk Gibson. Eckersley sat there and answered the questions. I like a stand-up guy. Everybody who's a winner wants to stand there in front of the media. It's the guy who loses who says, my heart got crushed here, but I'm willing to sit here and tell you about it. And I have great respect when I see that from these athletes and coaches.
All right, so Dan, we're going to come back a little bit later on. We're going to talk some Boston sports, but let's end with this segment with this. When you met the people from Red Hook, what is it that you liked about them? What do you like about this place? Why should people come up and tour this place? It really is cool, isn't it?
The reason why I love Red Hook, if you can turn the camera right there, Carm, that's where I fell in love with Red Hook, right there. And then I realized she worked for Red Hook, and I said, so that's it. So it's Carm is the reason why I got, no, it's not. Well, sort of. I just love the spirit of them. They embraced that, you know, they're not Budweiser, but they are who they are. They know who they are. And I love the spirit that they had that, hey, we're in it together, and nothing's far-fetched. Let's have fun with this. And I think that's been the bottom line with them. Great people, and they haven't changed, and that's been great.
And we'll all be drinking Audible Ale. That's what I can tell you.
We are back right after this.
Dan Patrick, Dirty Water TV, more after this. Coming up, we go behind the scenes, and we take you on a tour of the Red Hook Brewery.
As a beer drinker, I know very well when beer tastes good.
So you're the perfect one to test it.
I feel like I'm great at testing beers.
When Dirty Water TV returns.
Be sure to pick up the latest edition of Dirty Water News at over 300 news boxes throughout the city. Get all the latest nightlife news you can use. Dirty Water News is also available online at dirtywaternews.com.
Welcome back to Dirty Water TV. I'm Dave Russo.
And I'm Butch Stearns. We're here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire at the Red Hook Brewery, and we're joined by pub manager here at the Red Hook Pub, Nick Wright. How you doing, Nick?
Doing great, absolutely.
Great to have you here. You know, pub manager Dave doesn't do him justice.
No, not at this place right here.
No, I mean, you manage the pub. You're involved in tours of the brewery here, special events that go on. Talk about your role here.
So I oversee everything that's going to be from the normal restaurant day-to-day operations to the tours that we give every day throughout the week. And then we also have the retail shop, the outdoor beer garden. We've got a lot of stuff going on here.
Now, I got to ask you this. There's many bars in Portsmouth. Why does the Red Hook Brewery, what sets the Red Hook Brewery apart from any of the other ones out there?
You know, some of the biggest things are going to be our great service staff. We've got some of the best pub food around, and not to mention the most local craft brews are going to be right here in Portsmouth.
And the hottest buffalo tenders I've ever eaten in my face.
Got it.
I've read my face. It's right.
No, but, you know, it's really cool that you have a pub inside a brewery. You don't see that all the time. I mean, this is a great place to come up and visit, besides the fact that it's an hour or less from Boston. You can do tours of the brewery. So what are people going to see if they do a tour of the brewery?
Anytime you come up and you do a tour, it's about a 45-minute period of in length. We're going to come up and you're going to see the brewery operations. You're going to see both of our brewing facilities, and then you're also going to try some of the beers. We usually have about 4 different beers from our core brand family, and then you're also going to get a beer education that is unlike anything else around here.
A beer education. I think I've been doing that my whole life.
I made Dean's List in that education.
Speaking of a beer education, I got a class right now.
Dean was my probation officer.
What do you like about this audible ale?
Oh, it's super crushable, easy drinking, great flavor. Absolutely sets it apart from all the rest out there.
You know what I think we should do right now? I think we should do a tour of the brewery.
You know what? That sounds like a great.
Can you give us a tour of the brewery?
Do it up, absolutely. All right, Butch, why don't we head on down for a tour of our brewery?
Tour of the brewery?
Absolutely.
Let's rock.
Let's go.
All right.
So as we come on down, we've got a bunch of the different beers like Longhammer IPA, ESB, which was our original flagship, and then Audible, beer that's made it all happen now. We actually opened up this brewery in '96 when we realized that there was the necessity for us to have brewing on the other coast. So we're able to do all of the distribution east of the Mississippi and Texas included. So quite a good amount of beer comes out of this brewery itself.
All right, where are we going next?
We're going to head right on upstairs to the tour gallery. Go check it out.
Let's go. Wow, Nick, look at all these taps before we go upstairs. What's this all about?
You know, throughout the years, we've made plenty of different beers. A lot of one-off beers just for the pub, a lot for some of our other local vendors. And so we've wound up with a nice display of all the different tap handles you've seen throughout the years. See some like our Longhammer IPA and ESB that have been around since the early 80s that have kind of transitioned throughout time as well.
And we're here today talking about Audible Ale. That is one of the coolest tap handles I've ever seen.
Beautiful, absolutely, right?
This is cool. So what do we got here, Nick?
This is our 100-barrel system. This is our main brew house for the East Coast, and we are going to be doing essentially 200 kegs every batch that we roll through here, and we are going 24 hours a day, Sunday evening through Friday. So it gives us the opportunity to get you guys the freshest beer you can down in Boston.
And what are these jars right here?
These are a few of the different ingredients we have. We have a couple samples of some of the malted barley and other grains that we use, and then a few samples of some hops that we use that are going to be going for bitterness, aroma, and flavor in the beer. It's going to balance out that sweetness that these grains give us. All right, Butchie, so this is our Pease Brewery system. This is a 3-barrel system. So that means only 6 kegs are coming out of every batch.
Okay.
What this is it's a great opportunity for us for innovation brewing. So we get to try out new beers that we've never been able to try before, something new in the industry, something that we want to try out here. Mark Valeriani, who's our innovation brewer, can probably give you a little more insight on this.
That's Mark?
Yeah, absolutely.
Innovation brewer?
Innovation brewer.
Can I go talk to him?
Absolutely. Head on in.
All right, let's go, Jim.
Let's go.
Innovation brewer. Mark! Butchie Stearns. Nice to meet you. Is this the coolest job in the world or what?
It's pretty much about the coolest job that you could really have.
What do you do here?
Get together with the other brewers and we kind of talk about what kind of beers we're thinking about making. And then I'm the one who gets to experiment and make them.
How about the challenge here at Red Hook of you have an idea, a passion, you talk to all your people, but ultimately it's the people who are drinking the beer that decide whether it's good or not, right?
Yeah, that's very true, but you know, as a beer drinker, I know very well when a beer tastes good.
So you're the perfect one to test it.
I feel like I'm great at testing beers. One of the things that I think that sets Red Hook apart from most of the other breweries is just, it's been around since 1981, and it's always been pretty much tried and true. A brand beer that you can just always drink, you know, with your friends by a cookout, you know, whatever you really need, Red Hook's there for you.
So I'm a craft beer guy. I do like to try different beers from different parts of the country with different history. I've liked every Red Hook beer I've tried, quite honestly, here. I've always wanted to meet guys like you. I want to know who's putting their stamp on the beer that I'm drinking.
Well, did you think that I would look like this?
I didn't know what you were going to look like.
Sure.
Great to meet you, Mark.
Very nice.
Okay. Innovation Brewer. That's what I want to do. Hey, Nick, what's up?
Well, Butch, now for the best part of the tour.
Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. That's good. Thanks, Nick.
Hey, thank you, Butch. Thanks for
Absolutely.
visiting. Take care.
Up next, we talk Boston sports with the legend Dan Patrick. That's when Dirty Water TV returns.
Hi, I'm Dan Patrick, and I love that Dirty Water TV.
And for all your up-to-the-minute nightlife information, log on to dirtywatertv.com, and it's your go-to place for everything hot and happening in New England. From vlogs to video, dirtywatertv.com has you covered with the most informative nightlife news. That's dirtywatertv.com.
Welcome back to Dirty Water TV in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I'm Butch Stearns. We're at the Red Hook Brewery, and Dan Patrick's back with us. Dan, it's always great to see you, always great to catch up. You know, there's so many things we would talk about, but let's talk about Boston sports for a second. People around the country don't like Boston sports fans because has there ever been a decade with 7 parades in 8 years? And what do people say about Boston sports fans outside of Boston?
I think that people embrace the oh, woe is me moment. There was a Charlie Brown feel that you almost won, certainly in baseball, not in basketball or hockey, football with the Patriots. I think sometimes we gauge how much we like you in accordance to your fans. How do your fans act or react? That's part of the problem.
Right.
Let's face it, may not have the most gracious fans.
Well, but
when
you
win.
know this better than anybody. We got 26 championships stuck in our face by Yankees fans every single year.
But you don't have to act like Yankee fans, though.
That's true.
See, that's the key.
That's true.
The reason why you don't like the Yankees is because of Yankee fans.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
It's a good point.
Yeah.
So the marathon bombings, though, in all seriousness, that took on, and it was so tied to sports, such a life of its own. And what happened to the view of Boston sports after that, in your opinion, nationwide?
You had this moment that paralyzes everybody, and you say, "What? How did that happen?" It's a sporting event. But I've always said that if you're going to get to the core of who we are as people, it's at a sporting event. Because a sporting event is where we go for an outlet, a release. This is something at a sporting event, marathon, that's, you know, encompasses a whole city, and it's one of the most famous marathons in the world. And you saw these acts of heroism that, you know, we call somebody a hero or a star or somebody because they do something athletic. Those people that day, first responders and police, and that's where you step back and you go, let's put all of this partiality. You know, we may not like Boston, or, you know, somebody may not like Boston sports teams. That's when everybody loved Boston. Big Papi with what he had to say. There was a spirit there. You know, Boston strong, it just resonated. It still resonated. Running a marathon is right up there, ultimate athletic achievements. And you're almost there at the finish line. And then it happens at the finish line. It was kind of symbolic in a way, in negative ways. We're not letting you finish. But Boston said, F you, we'll finish. It might not be this marathon. It'll be the next one and the next one and the next one.
Well, Dan, we've always had a love affair with you.
Thank you, Butchie.
You're great at what you do.
Thank you.
And continued success.
Thank you.
Up next, we wrap things up from Hook Madness and the Red Hook Brewery in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, when Dirty Water TV returns.
How about our Red Hook champion, Alex Reese? How about it?
Be sure to pick up the latest edition of Dirty Water News at over 300 news boxes throughout the city. Get all the latest nightlife news you can use. Dirty Water News is also available online at dirtywaternews.com.
Welcome back to Dirty Water TV. I'm one of your hosts, Dave Russo.
And I'm the other guy, Butch Stearns. A lot going on up here at the Red Hook Brewery. Dan Patrick, Hook Madness. But this isn't the only place stuff's going on.
That's correct. We're an hour north of Boston, but in our favorite city, Boston, downtown, a lot is going on right now.
Audrey Claire Johnson is on Friend Street. She's out there talking with Bruins fans and sampling Captain Morgan's White Rum.
Yes, and that's tonight's Big Ticket, brought to you by Higgs Tickets.
I'm here at the greatest bar with the best fans of the Bruins. We're pre-gaming with Captain Morgan White Rum. Let's go find out what everyone will predict for tonight. First stop, the greatest bar, where this venue's pre-game bash includes some amazing sports memorabilia, pre-game videos that get fans' hearts racing, and an incredibly friendly staff that love the Bruins almost as much as the fans do.
The Bruins! Pre-gaming at the greatest bar, am I right?
Right.
It's the best bar ever.
Awesome, we'll come back for sure. The bartender, Dre, is awesome, by the way. One for Dre, woo!
Captain Morgan White Rum was inspired by the pristine waters of the Caribbean. It's a white rum that is 5 times distilled and made with fine cane molasses. Captain Morgan White Rum is as smooth as the captain himself.
Awesome!
The North Star is one of the TD Garden area's most friendly spots. Fans love to congregate here for a bit and drink before the game. Today, Captain Morgan White is making things even friendlier here at North Star.
Love it. It's a great place.
It's great for pre-gaming. It's totally packed.
I love it. It's always a good time in here.
And I see you've got your Captain Morgan shirt on.
Well, I just tried it, and it's delicious. You can't beat it. White rum, go with it.
Hurricane O'Reilly's serves up Irish, American, and Cajun specialties just steps away from the TD Garden. That's clearly an environment that would put any fan in the party mood.
So smooth. Like, you know when normal people take a drink of a hard alcohol, they kind of cringe a little bit?
You didn't.
I didn't. It's just great.
Face relaxed.
Face relaxed.
Game face.
Perfect.
Drinking Captain Morgan.
Game face.
Ready for the Bruins tonight.
Room for the Bruins.
And I know that Captain Morgan White Rum has all the fans that we met at the greatest bar at Hurricane O'Reilly's and the North Star ready for an awesome game. I'm Audrey Claire Johnson reporting for Dirty Water TV.
That's tonight's Big Ticket, brought to you by Higgs Tickets. Here's what else is going on around town.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Dirty Water TV. What an event up here at the Red Hook Brewery.
Yeah, we had a great time. We obviously have a lot of people to thank. Dan Patrick, for one, obviously, Red Hook Brewery.
Yeah, Nick Wright, the pub manager here. Jess Watts from Red Hook.
The Leprechaun from the Celtics.
Lucky the Leprechaun. S.J. Torres from Dirty Water News, who was up here covering it. Of course, producer Jimmy Clark and Billy Fairweather. Great hanging with you, Dave, as always.
My pleasure, as always. Cheers, right there. And we got to thank Audible Ale. Come on, we got to show them the Audible Ale. I'm not
Check
allowed
it
to
out.
drink anymore. It's court ordered.
Listen, the weekend may be over,
but the party never ends
on Dirty Water TV.